Robbie Williams Rewind.
Welcome to Robbie Williams Rewind. We are the champions. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lucy.
And along with help from special guest fans, we take you on an in-depth rewind through the solo career of multi-award-winning singer, songwriter and entertainer, Robbie Williams.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a time, hasn't it?
Since we've been in your ears. 2 months, I think, since we last released our last episode with our interview with Steve Smiley Barnard.
Yes.
Which has gone down very well and is already one of our most listened to episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for listening to that interview.
I think a lot of people have been buying his book as well, from what I understand. So that's good. Cool.
So yeah, before we launch into talking to Jerry, our special guest, we thought we'd just do a quick recap of all the news that's happened in the past couple of months in Robbie world.
Yeah.
So the most recent being that there was a surprise announcement on Instagram. It came out on Friday, the 5th of May, from Amareva Galanter, who's a French, ex-Miss France, and apparently singer and actress. And she announced that she was releasing a duet with Robbie called Une Tahitienne à Paris, which is a Tahitian in Paris.
In Paris, yeah. She
just randomly dropped it on her Instagram account on, the 4th of May, Thursday the 4th of May.
Yep. Yeah. I'm doing a duet of Robbie Williams. Yeah, yes I do.
Well, I kind of saw the picture of Robbie with this woman and I kind of thought, oh, what's this that someone's posted? Oh, hang on. They're saying they're doing a duet. This is weird. So that was a bit of a surprise.
It was. Quite random.
Yeah. Apparently it's written by Elena Noguera and Philippe Eveno, so Robbie didn't help to write it. But it's definitely very, written kind of for Robbie, I'd say, with the lyrics in it like, I'm from Stoke City, a very Brit versus French song.
Yeah. So. Umbrella, la la la.
Yeah.
I like that line. Oh dear. It's fun, isn't it? It's a fun song. I must admit, when you first played it to me, I think we just got up, hadn't we? And you were playing it, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it's got that very French Parisian sort of style, hasn't it? But yeah, it's good fun. A good fun track. Maybe some of our French listeners can tell us a little bit more about Amareva Galanter.
Yeah.
I'd just certainly not really heard of her before, but I'm sure that she's famous in France.
Yeah.
And maybe Tahiti as well.
Yeah. And then also the other random song that dropped since we last did an episode was It's Great to Be a Cat.
Yeah.
Which was Robbie singing on the Felix cat food advert.
Right. Yeah, that was an interesting one, wasn't it?
What can we say?
Well, I think Rob picks, it seems over the past few years, Rob picks a few promos to do, a few advertising gigs to do here and there. And I think Felix is it's pretty cool.
I guess so.
Kind of campaign, isn't it? Felix is a little, cheeky little character.
Yeah.
And Robbie's a cheeky little character.
Yeah, so it suits in that respect.
I think it works.
I mean, when we did our interview with him, he did show us his 2 cats.
He did.
Before we sort of kicked off the interview. They were in the room with him.
Yeah.
So, he does genuinely love cats as well as dogs.
Yeah, he's a cat lover. And I think the kids would have liked it as well. His children would have liked it.
Yeah.
To see him with an animated cat, when they were doing the promos before it came out.
Yeah. And then what else has happened? We've had The Better Man being filmed in London on Regent Street.
Yeah.
We managed to pop up there and have a quick look.
Apparently it was the final shoot. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was also a bit of an additional shoot as well. Is that?
Might have been, I don't know.
But it was the rap shoot, or the rap, I don't know, whatever filmmakers call it. It was the final sort of scenes. on location scenes.
Yeah.
That was fun to see bits of that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We sort of, well, we won't reveal anything, but
maybe we shouldn't.
We were looking from a distance and we saw some people around a shop and an old London red bus and a few other bits. But it was quite funny because we were walking along Regent Street before they'd actually closed it off. And I was pointing out to Lucy, I said, that shop doesn't normally look like that. And it was a fake shop front.
Yeah.
In a shop, but fake shop front. And then there was like a fake hot dog stand on the side of the road. And then certain things were covered and then certain lights were being taken down. It was, the more you look, the more you realise you're on a film set, but in a real place.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool.
Yeah, so, and then also Lufthouse said that they were going to be releasing new music by the end of April.
It did.
But it's now May as we record this and I still haven't heard anything.
No.
But maybe we can expect something soon from them, another new song.
Yeah. I mean, they've been taking a break, I guess, like the rest of the band from the tour. Yeah, we hope to have them on the show soon, Tim and Flynn.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to bump into them in Barcelona when we saw Robbie there.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. They came down into the arena, didn't they? We were just assembling after being let in, and then they came out.
They just walked in.
Went over and had a nice chat with them, and we will get into their diary at some point.
Yeah, we've been talking to them for, I don't know, 7 months.
It will happen.
About interviewing them.
Yeah.
It'll happen eventually.
What else has been going on then, Lucy?
Also, IMDb released the cast list for Better Man, and there were a few characters listed that were of interest. So Nicole Appleton is listed as a character, and also I saw on Instagram that the actress who is playing Nicole seems to have a twin sister who's also, or a sister who's also an actress. So I think they must be the Appleton sisters in the film.
That sounds appropriate from a casting point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone's playing Noel Gallagher. He's clearly going to be in it. I guess that's the whole Leaving Take That thing.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be a backstage Glastonbury scene.
Yeah, with the red tracksuit.
I'd love a bit of Glasto to be in it, actually. Being a Glasto fan myself, that'd be cool to see that.
Yeah.
In the film.
I guess it's part of Robbie's Take That story and how he ended up leaving, so
yeah,
I'm sure it will be part of it. And Alison Steadman, who we all knew that was going to be in the film, but she's been confirmed as playing Betty, Rob's nan.
Oh, she's brilliant.
She's in Gavin and Stacey.
Great casting there.
And Netflix, the trailer was apparently shown at the Edinburgh TV Festival.
Why didn't we go?
Well, we're not invited. It's only for TV people.
Oh, okay. Well,
I should have asked one of our friends who works in TV. He normally goes to the Edinburgh TV Festival.
Dear.
I wonder if he was there and he just didn't tell me.
We'll see if we can find out who was there. But yeah, the Netflix, Netflix trailer has been produced and was shown to a select few.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get to see that soon.
Yeah.
Do we know any news on the exact release date?
Well, it's confirmed as out 2023. So, we're already nearly halfway through the year, so it can't be long now.
No, and especially if the film is still... Do you think the film's still going to come out this year?
Well, hopefully.
If the film is
end of the
later this year, like end of this year, then they have to get the Netflix in before that, don't they?
Yeah, I think it was meant to be in the summer, so hopefully it will still be soon.
So, yeah.
Can't wait.
Plenty of good stuff coming up on TV and film.
Yeah. And also, Robbie has announced even more dates for the 25 tour.
Yeah.
So he's announced dates in Monaco, and he's playing the Singapore Grand Prix and also Mexico, which probably by the time you listen to this episode might have already even happened.
Yeah.
Because that's on the 14th of May. Meaning that he's doing 81 dates on this tour as of today. That's the current tally anyway.
It's funny, isn't it, when we interviewed him,
Yeah.
he gave that wry smile. What did you say, 60-something gigs?
I said something like, you're doing 60 concerts.
That's it.
On this tour.
Massive smirk on his face, wasn't that, at that point? He obviously knew, well, he definitely knew that there was way more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, more people are getting to see him, so that's good. He's popular in Mexico, I guess. Yeah, and we've been on the road as well. Mm-hmm. Back out to see some of the gigs, starting with Amsterdam.
Yeah, that was great for Robbie's birthday.
Oh, yeah. That was really cool to be there for his birthday.
Not that he cares about his birthday.
No. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Rob doesn't have a particularly good relationship with birthdays. Yeah. He doesn't really get very excited about them, does he? And he said, when did he say about that? I remember him.
Oh, he said it lots of times.
I think he said it on stage, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he enjoyed. So FanFest, shout out to them.
Yeah.
And quite a few others helped to coordinate us all putting signs up.
Yeah.
During.
Just after Eternity.
Oh, yeah.
We all held up a little sign saying Happy Birthday, Robbie, or something.
So that was a nice moment. But and Rob took it in very quickly, very graciously, and then moved on with the show.
Yeah.
He didn't want it hanging on that too long.
No, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I think knowing what he's like about the energy of the show as well, he wanted to keep the show moving, didn't he? He enjoyed the moment and appreciated it.
Yeah.
And we had our Happy Birthday Robbie fucking Williams t-shirts
Yeah,
on.
we did.
With Alan and Sarah.
And Bobby.
Yeah.
Each had a word on our t-shirt, and I ended up having fucking on mine.
Yeah. Did I have happy?
I think you had Williams.
Oh, Williams. Oh, yeah. I've got it somewhere. But yeah, he enjoyed seeing that, didn't he? He gave us a little thank you at the end, which was lovely.
Thumbs up. That's nice. And then we went to Barcelona and saw both the shows in Barcelona.
Oh.
Loved it. The energy there was amazing from the crowd, especially the first night, I'd say.
Yeah, there was something really special about Barcelona. I think he didn't he say it's one of the best he's done?
Best of the tour or something.
Yeah, it was really special.
You could really feel the energy in the room.
And it was beautiful weather as well, wasn't it? It was so nice.
Yeah.
For us, it was like a little holiday away. We enjoyed a bit of Barcelona as well. We were there, which was nice. But yeah, the concert was... Both were incredible. Really were. And
then on the Saturday night, it was a bit of fun because two of the crew members came out to the barrier and said, "You know Carrie, don't you? Security guy Carrie." We're like, "Yeah, of course we know Carrie." "Well, it's his birthday. It's his 60th birthday today. We've got these T-shirts," and they handed us all these T-shirts and said, "Hold them up at some point. Do it when you want, but we'll go and get more T-shirts." Yeah. And I think they got about 20 in the end, and we all held them up. Was it during Land of 1,000 Dances?
It was, yeah.
Because we all, in our heads, we all thought Robbie stayed on the main stage for that song. So we thought, we'll do it for Carrie when he's up here by the B stage and Robbie's on the main stage, and we won't bother him with it. So we held up these T-shirts for Carrie. And then, of course, Rob does come along the walkway during that song. And he kind of looked at us all hanging up, like flipping these T-shirts around, but he got it.
I had mine on as well, yeah. Yeah. Carrie enjoyed that, yes. It was a great happy birthday moment for Carrie, and he deserved it.
He looks after us all well.
He certainly does. Yeah, so a fun time in Barcelona and Amsterdam.
And not long now till we go to the Isle of Wight.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully I will survive the weekend until Robbie is the last on stage.
How are you feeling about going to a festival, Lucy?
Nervous.
What in particular?
If it rains, I might just hide in my tent until such time that I need to come out.
Yeah. Well, last year I went to the Isle of Wight and it was as hot as it possibly could be in the UK.
Yeah.
It was when we were having, not quite the heat wave, but we were certainly having hot weather. So it's like somewhere between 32 and 35 degrees, which is particularly hot for the UK. So hopefully it's not quite that hot again, but hopefully it doesn't rain either.
Yeah.
Although it did get pretty windy at one point, there was a bit of a storm, which was a bit strange, but that quickly passed. But yeah, we're on an island. It's got its own microclimate, so you never know quite what happens on the Isle of Wight, but it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Won't be long now.
No.
So that's it. That's the roundup. Quite a bit of news happening over the past few weeks, month or so, while the band are... having their rest as we record this. They're probably all heading on their way to Mexico, or about to. And hope you enjoy the episode with Jerry Meehan.
Yeah, we've definitely got more good interviews coming up soon as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely have. Oh, we've got a lot of people in the pipeline. It's just confirming dates and getting them in.
You can't believe how hard it is to actually get a date in the diary with some of these people.
Successful people are busy.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So we do have quite a lot of people on the way, both in the band and around and connected with Rob to come. So exciting.
Yeah. But in the meantime, enjoy Jerry. Jerry was the nicest man ever. He was so lovely.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He gave us lunch before we started the interview, had a little chat. He showed us around the studios, Wendy House Studios.
We were made very welcome by Jerry and the team at Wendy House Studios. I can see why people enjoy recording there. It's got a very homely feel, very comfortable, funky place, really nice. And we did a little bit of extra recording with Jerry, didn't we?
It was his idea. Yeah. He had the idea of filming us arriving at the studios and him letting us in as a little video that we could use for promo and stuff.
Yeah.
So you must go and check that out on our social media.
Yeah, check our socials for that. And we'll probably have a link to it on the website as well. And yeah, it's a bit of an MTV Cribs style opening, if anybody remembers that. That's kind of influence that I used for the video. And I think that was the idea that Jerry had. And soon we will actually release, as we did with Steve Barnard's episode, we'll actually release the YouTube version of this podcast. So you'll be able to see us actually in the studio with Jerry.
Yeah.
And that will come out in a few weeks' time.
But yeah, just to say how lovely Jerry was, and thank you for doing this interview with us. We really appreciate it.
It was super nice to spend that time and get an insight from Jerry's perspective on his time with Rob, even before he joined the band.
Yeah.
Enjoy Jerry's episode from the Wendy House Studios, London. Welcome to Robbie Williams Rewind. We are the champions. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lucy.
And along with help from special guests, we take you on an in-depth rewind through the solo career of multi-award winning singer, songwriter and entertainer Robbie Williams.
And today we're absolutely delighted to be able to bring a very special guest, someone who's been a part of Robbie's band for 19 years, but has known him for even longer. He's Robbie's incredible bass player, Jerry Meehan.
Hello
Welcome
guys.
to the show.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Us.
Yeah.
It's very nice to do it. Hello, listeners.
Very nice to be in your studio in London.
Yeah, what a fabulous studio.
Parsley in my teeth. Parsley in my teeth.
No, I don't think so. No, you're right. You're right.
Welcome.
Thank you. So before we get going on discussing your time with Robbie, let's rewind back to the very beginning. So tell us, how did you get into playing music?
Well, my mum is a musician. She runs a choir and she's an oboist. And I guess I grew up as a kid in a carry cot going around orchestras and choirs and music. And then I played kind of piano and bassoon when I was quite young, from about age of 9, because she was an oboist. And she thought that was the unusual instrument that would probably be right, probably get work from or whatever. Then I went to a school. It's quite a long story, really, but I went to a school when I was 13 called Cheetham School of Music, which is a classical music school on bassoon. And I was there till I was 18. And then I was there with Max Beasley. So this cuts through to Robbie. But so I studied classical music there for a long time. Bassoon, conducting, classical music, orchestration, piano. In Manchester. And that's where I met Max. Yeah. And Omar, the singer Omar. Don't know if you know him. There's nothing like this. Yeah. So we all were kind of their music. A lot of people have been through that school as well. But then I went to Guildhall School of Music in London. And then I got a job with Mid-Yaw. I answered an advert in Melody Maker, bass guitar wanted, and I got a job with Mid-Yaw when I was about 19. Right. So I sort of left and started working. I sort of wanted to get on with it. So that from then, Mid-Yaw, then quite a few other bands, and Boyzone before Robbie, and Omar, lots of other bands. and then met Rob, I guess, well, a long time ago, but that's how I started. I'm jumping forward.
You are. Yeah. And so when did you actually start playing bass?
When I was about 13.
Right.
Yeah, at school as well. Just, alongside the bassoon. Seemed a bit complicated and heavy and not so cool. So I picked up the bass, And then when I got to Cheatham's, we had a school band, but Max was in the school band. Like, come here. You got to come out. You're the drummer. Omar, you're the singer. We had a great school band. And so it was always a thing, we kind of wanted to do. Yeah. And there was a little music studio alongside the classical stuff.
Right.
And have you ever had a band reunion? That sounds like quite a band.
Well, I mean, we still do stuff together, me, Max and Omar. We've just done stuff for Omar's record with Paul Weller. And we still do music. I've just done Max's record with it, which is just about to come out, which is a musical, big orchestral, jazzy, improvised album. It's great. It's his second one. And so we've just done that in lockdown in LA. So we all keep in touch.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when you were at the Guildhall School of Music, you didn't bump into Guy then?
I didn't bump into Guy then. No, I'd have remembered that. I think he was there 2 or 3 years with Steve Sidwell. So he's in Steve's year. My mum taught Steve's son music as well. So there's a whole crossover with Steve. Now Steve lives near me, but I think Guy was 3 years, maybe 4 years older.
Oh, okay. So you weren't there at the same time.
No, and I wasn't there long.
No.
So yeah.
And we've heard that you've worked in the West End too.
I did, yeah.
You've done Deps on Les Mis, I think.
Yeah, lots of them, thousands. No, I used to do a lot of, because I was classical reader, I could go in and read and Dep on shows, which I did for a good few years. Most of the West End shows. Yeah.
So when did you actually start writing and producing music?
I mean, always really, but you get different patches.
Yeah.
If you're a player as well of, what you're doing. I've always done bits of film music and adverts and bands and songs and always been doing it and having a studio. But, patches, I'd say, different stuff. They're totally different, all different, not one thing.
Right.
Not just songs, some film music, some corporate stuff, some advertising, music. The behind the scenes music stuff.
Yeah.
Which I guess I'm into.
Yeah.
And actually on that note, what inspires you? Who inspires you? What do you where do you take your inspiration from?
Well, I guess, all the recorded music and the process inspires me in one sense, and that's why I've got a studio. But obviously music inspires me, and for me, it inspired me in a way. That's sound, but you get to a stage where you can always love it and put that on and say that's great and all that, but you don't constantly need that. You need to actually, as a musician, figure out how to do that every single time. Do you know what I mean? Without, and it being really powerful and the right thing and the right. So yeah, I mean, lots of different things, lots of stuff over the years. I couldn't say one gig, person, thing. I mean, just, constantly keeping your ears fresh and out there for new stuff, I suppose.
Yeah. So have you got quite an eclectic music taste?
I think I probably have. Yeah, I have. Yeah, and I think there's, from being a classical music to now I'm a rock and roll bassist to most people. But I mean, and there's lots of rap stuff done in here. It's across the board, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like music that counts and cuts through and has an edge and speaks to people. And often, if it doesn't speak to me, I don't think it's crap. I just think, why can't I get that? Or what? Yeah. It's what it's like, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. So tell us how you came to know Robbie then, moving into the Robbie beginnings.
Well, I don't think I officially work-wise came back into Rob's life, which is, I always knew him for a long time. It's a complicated story, the other bit, but it's not complicated. It's just blurring a long time ago. But Max, as I said, Max had written a B-side with Rob for Sexed Up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I went over there to help on the production of that for 5 days to see, and I knew Rob, but the bass playing gig wasn't talked about. Nothing was talked about. I was just going over there to just do this B-side with them and have a laugh. So we went over there and I had a great laugh. I hope they did. And we did Appliance from Science, which is the first thing. And I played football, got kicked in the nuts, kicked in the face, had a laugh with Rob, And I think, we went down to see a gig in those days, and it was the Scissor Sisters in their early days at the, what's that famous little club in LA?
The Viper?
No, but it's like that. Anyway, we went down there at what's it called? Anyway, went down there. I got quite drunk. Robbie didn't drink anything, of course. And I was just sort of swaying away in front of him, I think, and just really enjoying the gig. And then he said in the back of the car, obviously the bass playing thing had changed. There was nothing going on. And he said in the back of the car, I was drunk actually. He said, do you fancy doing, he said, do you fancy doing the bass on the next tour? I said, yeah. That was kind of it. He said, well, move like that on stage and do, you'll be fine. But I mean, he trusted Max. He trusted what I'd done before and, hopefully liked me but that's Rob. He didn't have to have an hour with me playing scales to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the start. And the other bit, which probably is more blurry to him, but as we've just talked about, you worked and lived around here. I lived in 3 places around here. I don't do any more, but one of them, 31 Addison Gardens, which is literally around the corner.
Yeah.
When Rob left to take that, and went to Glastonbury in the show and all that period, he came to my house where I lived with Max.
Oh.
And I think we smoked weed and watched With Nail and I for a few hours while he checked the papers. He went around the corner and checked the papers and saw he was in the front of everyone go, fucking hell. And then, that was the first time, that was one of the first times we spent a lot of time together. But then obviously he got busy.
Yeah.
And then then we reconnected around then.
Right.
Yeah. Which is a long time ago, as you just told me, 19 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2004 that Appliance of Science came out. So I guess you probably
so I wasn't really in the band then, and there wasn't, and that was after.
Yeah.
But after the big one, what's it called?
Escapology.
No, the big
Nebworth.
gig. No, after Nebworth, which I was at, and then there was a band.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched it as an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patient audience. Then my first TV was Jonathan Ross, and my first gig was Live 8.
Oh, right. Wow. What a first gig.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I think, but we were recording Intensive Care before that. That's right. Yeah. So I was in LA for a long time recording bass on Intensive Care with Stephen Duffy. And that's kind of the first, that's where the band started and Rude Box started, really. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Just going back to Appliance of Science, Rob once said that a homeless man came up to him and said, "Don't believe in smart people made the bomb, clever dropped it," while he was at Coffee Bean with Max in LA.
Yeah.
Were you there with them?
I think I could have been. I was probably paying at the time. But I do remember, Rob filling in some of the lyrics of strangers walking by. Yeah. And then I think for the middle 8, there was something. He read out something from somewhere. I can't quite remember. But the usual genius, eclectic, finding words from the stars. Yeah. Brilliant at that.
Yeah. So did you invite do you and Max write any other songs together during that period?
No, that wasn't a real writing session for me and Max. We have done lots. We've done film music and all kinds of stuff together. But no, that was something that he was staying with Rob at the time, and they had written this thing, and he said, "Come and play bass and help me produce it."
Yeah.
So we did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was really nice. It was when Rob had the football house. And that was a period of time which it was a good period of time where there was a lot of football, and it was good memories of it. Yeah, ended up, I think, probably too much football for him, but it was good at the time.
So you joined the band when he was in his Imperial phase.
Yeah.
Did it feel quite overwhelming to sort of be joining a band?
It felt great. Yeah, I mean, it did. I mean, it didn't for me, because personally, before that, I was doing Boyzone, for that intense period, which is totally different, I know. But we were doing, it was probably more like it was the screaming, green things, constantly. And I was always on a stage with the backdrop, and I'm terrible with heights. And I hated that feeling. And I was like, fucking hell, this is really big now. But it was totally different from day one, because, well, as I've said to a lot of people, it's like the way I work with Rob and the way he sort of allows me to work with him and invites me in. It's almost like being in Rob's Spinal Tap. It's like, I take very seriously the enormous amount of fun we have. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And but it's fun, and you can. It wasn't at all like he's sitting in the back going, "Oh, so I'm going to fall off this thing," It wasn't at all like that, because the music and the whole thing is a different message. It's a different thing. It's a different way. It's a different. Yeah.
You're really part of it, aren't you?
Yeah. Well. And everyone gets to feel that because of Rob, and because of, how inclusive and how precise he is about, and it's a preciseness about the looseness.
Yes.
Right. That's what it is.
That's a great way of putting it.
You makes it look easy, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
And Rob sold 1.6 million tickets in one day for his Close Encounters tour when they went on sale in November 2005. How was it for you? Was it exciting to know you were going to be part of such a big tour? Or
it was. It was amazing. Yeah, it was all of that. But I suppose listening to Rob the other day and being part of this tour now, and the arc of what he's saying on this tour, I realised I didn't really realise I wasn't there enough for him at some stages, and I didn't really realise how in such a dark place he was at some times. To be honest, I did realise at times, but he's very honest about it, isn't he now?
Yeah.
But it was overwhelming and a great thing for me to do, and of course it's a big tour and you just do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, he hated it, every single minute of it, I think.
Yeah, he did.
He really did. And that was hard to sort of, I remember being we were having a coffee with John Ronson. He was over there doing something with Rob, the
Alien guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The journalist. And he was sort of saying to Rob, saying to me, sort of with Rob Dow, did you enjoy the last year, or whatever it was, 2008? I said, yeah, it's great, sort of look, waiting for Rob to say, yeah, great, but he sort of looked at me and went, well, I hated every minute of it, which was shocking. But now I realise, how, why, and how deeply he was in that place, which is part of the writing process, the cathartic writing process of Rootbox as well.
Yeah.
Because they're on, they're about him, aren't they? Those lyrics are all about him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So famously, Rob, he didn't used to like rehearsing, but the scale of that tour, Close Encounters tour, led him to actually show up for rehearsals.
Not much.
Oh, really?
No. He did about 4 hours.
Oh. Well, I guess maybe that was more
Who
than
told
he
you
used
that?
to. That was from him, that quote.
Oh, well, maybe he did none before that then.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
before my time.
Yeah,
so 4 hours.
And I think I remember him turning up for a day. It was a standard short day. Pants on day.
He said he felt small against the fact that 3 million people were coming to see him on that tour, and he felt scared. Did that affect how you felt about it?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you put it like that, it will frighten anyone, won't it?
Yeah.
So I learned a long time. I mean, he knows this. Of course, he's got his own way of dealing with it, but it's different being him than it is, being a bass player for him. But one technique that I say to people if I'm teaching them about, if you're scared, if you get the fright, it's frightening. he says it very well. It's like sometimes it's very frightening, you know. Like, I can't remember what he said, but if you remember, there's, you know, say like however many people, 120,000 people, they're all one separate part of that. Yeah. So you're only playing, that mistake only goes to that one person. I mean, it happens to be 120,000 of those separate people, but they don't all join together with their hatred of your mistake. You know, you just have to put it in, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you have to put it in perspective. It doesn't really matter. I've got over that now.
Right.
The size of the thing. I mean, it's almost worse doing this than it is.
Oh, okay.
You know, for me.
Yeah.
But
we're not that frightening, are we?
No, it's just it's the exposure of the thing, and it's the way you think about it, isn't it? But I've definitely thought about that. I mean, it's frightening to go on, but you've got to sort of think about each of the one. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense. If you think about everyone is sort of
they're not all one big crowd.
No,
out to get
and
you,
they're not out to get you. That's the point. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're not out to get you. They're there to have a good time. You know.
Yeah.
And if you fall over, they're going to feel bad.
Yeah.
And there's loads of, you know, doctors around.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about Close Encounters. Was there anything that you liked about that tour? Any particular standout moments?
Well, I mean, it was funny for me because I was doing silly stuff, wasn't I, on stage with Johnny and you know, and speaking on the mic in those stadiums and doing American accent, doing all kinds of stupid shit, but kicking balls and wearing orange. Those orange shoes are stolen, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. The Shipe shoes are stolen. I loved them.
Oh, no.
They were Y2K something. But, I mean, that was totally different. It was big. And there was a lot. It was a very big, grand opening tour. You know, I thought it was great. But obviously, I think when Rob has looked back on it doing the Netflix film, I think that he's been surprised. So, and been able to look back at it and just go, no, you know, there was a lot of things about it that were good.
Yeah.
That were really exciting. But they were all, you know, they're all, there's always bits, isn't there, in different tours.
Yeah.
There's been, and you know, the Swing tour was great. The, you know, Take the Crown tour was great. There's a lot of different stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, loads. We'll cover it all.
Yeah.
So moving on to Rude Box.
Oh, of course.
Robbie said that the Rude Box album started with you and the song Dickhead. Now, personally, I'd love to hear Dickhead live one time. It's just funny.
It is funny. So that song was at the same time as the Scissor Sisters gig. It was like the next night we went somewhere. And but the funny thing about Rude Box, which is a bit like Rob, it's like he'll be doing the album before. You know, he'll have done the writing. There'll be tracking time, serious stuff. Yeah. And that's the point where he's over it. He's onto the new toy, as he says. And so Rude Box was the new toy. So Stephen was there busy trying to get some early nights and thinking about microphones and compressors and stuff for the next day in the big studio and strings. And Rob wants to record Dickhead with me all night because there's someone, I think someone in a car did something or something. He got the idea from, you know, people just shouting at people, but, you know, in cars. And he was sort of rapping away in the back of the car and he's like, and I had probably one of the earlier systems of a laptop and a little 58 and a little box which went in there, and I was doing some film stuff and had lots of different bits of music on the go. And we were hanging out, me, Stephen and Rob, in the living room, in his bedroom at that time. Huge room. And, you know, he was in his pants at the time on the computer, listening to tons of music, writing lyrics, doing art, doing whatever, you know, doing loads of stuff. And we were all sort of even talking to each other by, iMessage on the computer.
In the same
computer club, yeah. The room was so big, it was sort of like, you're right. You pass the strawberries. But then we got, you know, he said, "Oh, play me some stuff, bits of you go, oh, I like that, don't like, oh, I like that," you know. And he would fire away, and he had this idea about exactly what he wanted to do for it. And we started it. We did about 6 or 7 things, actually. 4 came out. But they were what's his name from the streets? Mike Skinner was out, you know, that stuff. He wanted to do a kind of, during the Blockheads sort of modern Robbie Williams or ironic feet up in front of the fire rap. Funny, which I totally got. I thought it's brilliant idea. So, it's funny the way, it's perceived. It has its collateral, like he says, for him. It has its collateral for me in a way as a writer, but not that I'm any less proud of it because I put so much time into it, with him. But I mean, there were certain other reasons that album, but it was a complicated album for a lot of reasons.
Yes. Yeah. Well, before we move on to that, I'll just say that Dickhead was the one. We pick a favourite track from each episode, from each album, and I picked Dickhead. Did you? Well, mainly because
it's hidden.
You picked the 80s.
Yeah. No, I picked the 90s.
You picked the 90s. Our guest Jacek picked the 80s. So I had to pick Dickhead. So that was, not had to. I wanted to. Those were the three that we really wanted to go onto our playlist, which listeners can listen to. So so it's on there.
Love it.
We're intrigued on Dickhead. Will it ever be released who MC Tofty is? Is he a famous person using an alter ego?
Well, the late MC Tofty. Yeah, it's a friend. What's his name again? It's a really great friend of Pete, Rob's dad. He's called Tofty. I can't remember his real name. He was called Tofty, and we were just going up to record this thing, in the lift, and Tofty was an ex-army, a lot of energy, hilarious guy from Stoke, that about 70, that would do handstands and he was just a hilarious guy, and then he used to say, "I got a buggered off shit, I've got a buggered off shit, I got a buggered off shit," and literally we were saying that. I had the microphone in the lift. There's a lift, and Rob was. You can hear Rob. No, he was doing the rap. Then Rob said, "That's going on there." So we just recorded it, and you can hear Rob screaming and laughter in the background. But that's what it was like. He wanted this setup, just like this. Hey, do you do that? You do that.
Yeah.
And there's another funny story. The Colombian singer, huge. Shakira came over to the house. Sorry about my memory. And Rob said, "Oh, do you fancy, whatever, they would go out somewhere." And he said, "Do you fancy doing a bit on this? I want you to do a bit of singing on this thing." But she came with a brother, a translator, and needed 3 months.
Oh, wow.
But Rob was just like, "Here's the mic. Just want you to do that once. We'll sort it out." Blah, blah, blah. That was quite funny that she was like, "What? That's not how recording works for me." Yeah, it was a very, the point being, it was very instant and captury and that's how it felt to me, and I think him as well, without all the big process.
Yeah.
Which is another thing you mentioned in the thing. I will reference it because I've been listening to it this morning. But it's great points that you don't have to spend all the the money. Sometimes you just end up with the other stuff. Don't you?
Yeah.
So you wrote the 80s and the 90s in quick succession after Dickhead?
The 80s first.
Yeah.
Obviously. Never got to the noughties.
No.
Yeah, there's Dickhead. I think The Good Doctor came after that.
Okay.
Right.
Well, and then the 80s and the 90s.
And then I think so, yeah. Yeah. But all of them really, but Dickhead was obviously funny. But the 80s and the 90s were, Rob doesn't mind, but it was very cathartic, and sometimes he was, it was just me and him, and getting those lyrics out were, it was cathartic for him, and he was in a real place, And after that, it was he wasn't in a great place, was he? So
no, yeah.
It was a period of time in his life, and that's when I arrived.
Yeah. And what was your process of writing like with Rob? Was it music, melodies, lyrics? How did
he's an amazing, lyric and melody writer.
Yeah, he
really is, and he never gets enough credit for that. And so I do the music and the bits and the production.
Yeah,
that's me. I mean, I can write lyrics and melody, but not. He needs to. He can't just get songs off the shelf like some people can. He needs to have his input and his input on the story, the effect it has on an audience, and everything. Yeah. It's very powerful for him, as it's not even in the set, as you talked about.
Yeah.
Lily pads. So I'm hopefully in charge of photosynthesis on the lily pads
Right.
for him. You know, the right amount of light, air, and potassium. What's the question?
You answered it.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Did you worry about the lyrics to the 90s being too controversial when you were recording them?
Yes, I was at the time. And I said so because it was,
Yeah.
well, you know what? Yeah.
That person.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you know what the lyrics were, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
not my idea of like a top 40 song. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that's another reason it went wrong, isn't it? Because he did it at Milton Keynes. He did the rap.
Mhm. That's right.
And that's what created the libel.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you know how there's the bits where there's no
Well, that's the
lyrics?
other thing. Sorry.
So the final production of it ends up with
Shall I-
these
yeah.
gaps.
Let me answer that for you. So after the 46 mix of the 90s, me going, hey, Rob, I've worked it out. So that cuts into that. We got this. So there's none of those gaps.
Yeah.
I know I'd done another edit of it. And
Right.
yeah. He goes, nah, forget it. I want the gaps. Just mute me. Which I thought, all right, that's all right. You know, then you get the space, then you get the gap. I thought that was good.
Okay.
You know, I want the space.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't make it work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
It's typical, Rob.
Yeah, it is. It's different. Well, because then you know when you're listening to it. So
Yeah.
well, actually, I have to say,
It's
was
a
like
statement, isn't it?
It was like a dying wish of mine to actually
Hear the
hear
lyrics,
the lyrics
yes.
before I died, kind of thing. So because you want to know what's missing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, we won't dwell on that.
It wouldn't have
one anymore.
worked without the gap, though. That whole thing.
No.
No. Yeah.
Would it? It wouldn't have worked.
No,
It's
it
a brilliant
wouldn't have
idea.
Yeah, it
All
was.
right, that's why you're Robbie. No, it's brilliant. And then I think we did Good Doctor, which Mark Ronson produced.
hmm
Yeah. And we did, well, there's another one which didn't get off the ground, which is really good, which is using the Stranglers thing.
Ah.
It was good.
Oh.
But it started off with, the rap from, something. Yeah. So it was another sort of broken up thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right. When you sung it at the Under the Radar gig, the 80s, that was a great moment. Did you enjoy doing
Yeah,
that?
I guess. I mean, it kind of went past. And I didn't know you never know how it sounds or out front. I could see him getting into it. And the way that gig was put together, obviously, because there's so many songs that we were only going to play once.
Yeah.
It was like we were all under pressure to remember everything.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there was quite a lot. And it's kind of beatsy,
Mhm.
rappy. It's not like a song that you know, so there's quite a lot on track for that, I think.
Right.
But it was, it was great to hear it and all
Yeah.
those songs.
It was amazing.
The fans were so happy about
It felt
that
like
gig.
a really good night, didn't
Oh,
it?
it was
Yeah.
it's
For
my
us, I
favourite
mean,
ever.
you know,
It was incredible.
sometimes you just you know it is, but you're also like, I got
You're
that out of the
concentrating.
way because it's a lot to make sure you don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and there was not much rehearsal, and weren't we doing something else? A Christmas something. When was it? What day?
It was October.
Yeah, I
9th.
think we were sort of
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
Christmas promo as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just before the promo
So we were learning
started.
10 or 12 songs off the
For that.
Christmas present, and then that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum.
So the 80s and the 90s, they sound quite sonically similar as well.
Do they?
Was that on purpose?
No.
No. I just think they really fit well together.
Well, yeah, hopefully. But I mean, they're sort of big beat orchestral sort of thing for me. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, what I do. They both came from, one of them came from a sample, which I gradually got erased.
Right.
Yeah, I won't say what. But you probably, But the other was a thing I had, and then you just build it up, and then I got some orchestra on it and some brass, and then, I mean, it's quite repetitive because it's rap. And Rob, had the story he wanted to get out, and then we found a chorus, and then it was quite, it was nice because it wasn't your usual songwriting put this bit here, put that bit there. It was quite free.
Yeah. And that's what's great about them.
And, you know, there was a message to be had, and it was obvious that he was coming back. And he's like this with lyrics. He comes back exacting every day, changing stuff until he feels right about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of your favourite tracks, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
in my top 10.
you.
Yeah, both of them.
Hey, well, I was quite surprised. And on the train where was I? Holborn, I think. So I changed second Rude Box.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was quite God. It was quite a thing that it was quite. He was surprised as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. We had a nice chat with Danny, Calvin, and Rich as well.
Danny Calvin, right? I mean, the old Wendy House was in Chelsea, and they worked there as well on Rude Box, and I love them. I love Rude Box as a track, and I love all of them. So yeah, it was all very enjoyable, and we both signed to the same publishing at the time, I think. So we both Yeah, I like the boys. Yeah.
Good times. So when the Rude Box album was kind of slagged off, how did that feel at the time?
Well,
for you?
I knew why, and I knew there's a lyric in Rude Box. You know that, and that's what on the Radio 1 DJ.
Yeah.
What's her name? Who's got a special needs kid. Took objection to that, and I think the whole thing of it being played out like that was all swallowed up by that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just this funny saying that is, I think, you know, it's just a sort of whatever, I don't know.
It was of the time,
It was of the time, and it was probably his dad's sort of thing. You just don't, you know, no one's watching, whatever. But it's it certainly changed the weather, you know, because it was looking different. And then obviously that slows a record, you know, the record coming out in a different way, how much you put into it, how much time, it all changes.
Yeah.
I think the 80s was the next single.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was sort of fourth after, what was it, Lady Madonna, was that?
She's Madonna.
She's Madonna.
Well, Love Light.
Love Light was second.
Yeah.
Root Box was third. Love Light was second.
Yeah.
She's Madonna was
She's Madonna,
third.
and then it was, I think, you know, it could have been the 80s, I think,
Yeah.
if I understood. But, yeah.
Wow. That would have been good.
But I think there was a sort of, right, if they stay now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's an interesting period, isn't it? Because I know Rob can do that. I mean, you know, and it's important for him. It was a feeling, and he wanted to do it. It's not like I've got to fit in and do this stuff. He's an artist like that. He has to create every day, and he'll keep doing that. You know?
That's what makes him.
Yeah,
him.
Exactly.
And we love Rude Box, don't we?
I love it. Yeah.
The album,
the whole album,
everything. I know we're biased, but we do really love it.
Well, I guess, I guess to fans, it's quite autobiographical, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why you get a real
connect with it.
And those, you know, those lyrics are really powerful.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it's really moving.
Yeah.
And I remember doing string things when he said, and my grandma died, left ill, you know, and you just feel his life when he was a kid so well, so great.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud to have done them with him.
Yeah.
So moving on, if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think most of the fans and listeners would agree that the band really came to the fore during the Take the Crown era.
Oh.
If you remember back to that. So on that tour, it felt like you had a lot of your moments at the front.
Oh yeah, on the
stage,
fiery head.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you enjoy that? I mean, it was very rock and roll, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's my usual day.
On fiery guitar
of some kind. Yeah, I did. I mean, it was huge, wasn't it? Spinal tapping. Let's get on our head. Fiery head and move it out 100 meters. No, wrong bass sound. Well, how do we get around that? So wireless MIDI bass changes from my tech to go, you know.
Right, to be able to go out onto the head.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny. It's great. Funny.
Yeah.
You've got to find it funny. If you find that scary, you've had it.
Yeah. You've got to go with it. Right?
Yeah.
I'm a big head. I'm moving 100 meters long. Yeah.
That's another dickhead. No, that was great. There was lots of heads, wasn't there?
There was
heads everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was the big monkey thing, which obviously I never really saw.
Oh, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
It really did. Yeah,
it did. Yeah.
But the big white skull that used to come out during Feel used to give me the creeps.
With Rob in his own mouth?
Yeah, that one. Just looks spooky.
Phil was always I enjoyed Phil the most on that tour. It was first encore, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a nice I didn't find it as spooky as you. I'm not as easy a freaked out. But yeah, no, I thought it's a nice place for it. Purple, wasn't it?
It was.
Purple.
Yeah.
So fucking hell, it's got high blood pressure.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And so you also wrote Love Is You on Under the Radar 1. When did you write that together?
That's a weird story as well. We wrote that. What year was it? Was it 2000? It wasn't in a great place either, but we were doing one day at Trevor Horn. Well, it was after Trevor Horn. Well, it's the day after Trevor Horn's wife got shot by their son.
Oh, didn't even know.
Yeah. So, and she's now not with us, but she was in a coma for 20 years, and he was shooting an air rifle, and it ricocheted off a tree and accidentally hit her in the jugular. Oh. And we were at the grounds of the studio, and the police were there. It was quite a somber time. It was quite an odd time. And then I was just playing these chords on the piano, and then was it there? Yeah. Yeah. And then Rob came up with this chorus. And then, we were there for 3 days and we finished it, got strings in, and we did it. Yeah.
Lovely. So it just took a little while for it to be released. On the radar. I guess he had it on his computer for a while before it came out.
I don't think, and it's another one that won't fit in. It's too, I think it's probably too personal for him.
Right.
Such a beautiful song. That just
thanks,
really touching.
But I think it's pretty personal. I think otherwise it would be. Yeah. But that was a 3-day thing, and I can't remember the studio. It was owned by Dave Gilmore, then it was owned by Trevor Horn. It's out in a lovely studio.
Yeah. And are there any other unreleased tracks in the archives that you've written together?
There are a few, yeah. There are 3 or 4 things, yeah. That for various reasons haven't come out.
Do you think they'll ever see the light of day?
I don't know, maybe.
On an Under the Radar, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there's stuff with collaboration with Carl we did in here, and some nice things, quite a few things over the years. But Rob has 70, 80 tracks on currently on his computer, and he's someone who gets in on an energy and an idea of an album, and then goes with the people he's with and the feel, and makes it. He doesn't overcomplicate that process with just inviting it up for that. He's very focused on it, and he gets it done. Which is great to see, because not everyone can do that. Some people just go around the houses all the time, or never trust what they're doing, or he trusts an energy, which is and then he'll do that album, and then there'll be another one. Yeah. There'll be another one. So it's very much like that. So it's lovely to see him still so, brilliant at writing, new stuff, and not just sitting back on his laurels and wanting to do new, more new stuff and different styles and everything. And then touring it, Yeah.
I think that's the thing that we've really noticed speaking with other people and really analysing, going back into it. Rob is an absolute innovator when it comes to
incredible styles,
and he's brave.
He's an incredible orator. He's incredibly bright. Friend, boss, loving, fucking caring. He's an amazing dude, and he doesn't get he doesn't often get that gets seen by the press and other people. But he's, you've heard it on his thing, and you've probably heard it from other people. But that's why the band and the whole crew and everyone, management, everyone is part of a big, important family and takes it seriously. But it comes from Rob.
Yes.
It all comes from him. Yeah. And the way he feels about everything, the way he feels about people. And it doesn't take him long. Yeah. He doesn't have to, But he's very good at being very close and very normal and down to earth while running a corporate thing, big corporate thing, which is a talent.
Yes, definitely.
And then saves a bit for stage, which we all have to do, because we've all got lives and we all have to save a bit for yeah. That's the challenge, but it's
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So another moment that deserves a mention is you appearing in the Andy Warhol video that Leo shot when he sat on the toilet.
Well,
You're looking forward to asking
apparatus, haven't you? You're on a private jet.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in the cockpit. Next place was the toilet. Yeah. I'm in the wrong profession. You see, I need to be an
Should
actor.
have been an actor.
I've got the patience.
Didn't Leo shoot another video where people were sat on toilets as well?
Yeah,
Seem
go
to remember.
mental.
Yes,
Yeah,
right,
that was with the brass. That
Yeah.
was really good.
Bit of a
Yeah,
toilet
I really
was.
liked that video.
Yeah.
Oh, I just did that. It was a 5-minute. Who's doing that? Jerry, do it. And I sit on the Lou, sunglasses. Oh, God, fucking what are the words? No, it's good though.
Yeah. So then Rob announced that he was going to do a swing album and tour in 2013
God.
to 14, and that gave you a bit of a headache, didn't it?
Have you heard about this?
Yeah. Do you want to tell everyone?
Yeah, let's hear.
Yeah. So,
If you don't mind.
Rob, what year was the swing tour?
The
2017.
tour was 2014. The album came out 2013.
So yeah, in 2013, we just finished Take the Crown.
Yeah.
And Rob sort of looked at me and Carl. I'm a jazz musician, but I'm not a jazz musician like some friends of mine who are the world's best. And I don't play double bass. I didn't play double bass. I just played bass guitar, and I had friends who were the best double bassists in the world. I was like, oh no. And Rob looked around at me at the end of the tour, and obviously I didn't want to not work the next year and hang out. And he said, "Oh, you play double bass, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And the next thing was the Palladium in 5 weeks, and so now I've got. You probably can't see them, but I've got carpal tunnel scars from practicing 8 hours a day for 5 weeks. And having my German friend I just went mental on it, which is brilliant. Actually, I really liked it. I don't regret any of that, but I had to fucking really get my shit together. It was a whole other instrument to get in, and then playing with all the other guys in the band. But it was brilliant for me, and I really enjoyed. By the end of the tour, it felt like second nature. But there you go.
Yeah.
But it was a good musical kick up the arse, and I needed it.
So have you had the operation in both hands?
Yeah. Bilateral carpal tunnel. I have pictures of the scars when they're all like that somewhere.
Yeah, your dad had it done.
My
didn't
dad
he?
did
Did he?
it done,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What was his profession?
Years of engineering and mechanics. And
Mechanical
working on
engineer
boats.
like my dad.
Yeah.
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 Screwdrivers.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that bass playing. It's just all that. And the double bass was, it's a whole other power.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed doing it. As I said, it was worth it. But that was literally me and Carl like, shit. All right, guy wants to hear us next week. Go up there. That's it. Right. And then he came down to my house. And I sort of got the seats out the back of my Renault, banged my head and get the fucking double bass in. And it was hilarious. We went up there. Yeah, guy thinks it's all right. All right.
So Carl had to sort of.
We both
learn
had to.
something different as well.
It's playing swing like that. I mean, Rob can have anyone, and we got it together. But that's not the first call. We're not the first call for those gigs in London. There's other people who do those things better. But we got it together, and I'm pleased we did.
And did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the tour?
I loved the tour. Yeah, that was one of the best tours. It was great from a lot of perspectives. The music, the show. Yeah, it was an interesting tour. It was the first arena tour for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was sort of nice.
Yeah, the production on that tour was really good.
Yeah, the big boat.
And you were all involved.
The boat, yeah.
Everybody had a role in that.
Yeah,
show,
it's just the costumes were a bit warm.
And the marriage. It's the marriage bit as well.
Yeah. and it was funny. And it was all okay with the double bass in the end.
It was. It's great
on stage.
No mess ups.
No, it was fine.
Good.
I needed that operation, but it was all right in the end. I needed to do that. I had to do a lot of basic work. Really, really go back onto it, which is good.
Yeah.
And are you back to bass now, or still a little bit
I play
double
both
bass?
now. I do play both now, which is the whole point, I guess.
And
Not
the
as
bassoon,
much.
still the bassoon.
Yeah. Did a hemorrhoids ad last year.
Oh right, okay.
For Daflon. So if you want to hear the new Daflon ad, that's me on. I compose the whole ad, but it's me on bassoon. They give you fucking hemorrhoids doing the ad. It took months. Yeah, so the recording for limited periods of time.
Yeah,
your embouchure goes. But yeah, no, I still play.
Right.
Everything's all around at home. Studios pick up things.
And so tell us, you've mentioned quite a few already, but what's the best thing about working with Rob?
Yeah, he's a great guy to work for. He's the best thing. We have such a laugh.
I can imagine.
I mean, there's not one thing. There's a lot of things. There's the sort of gigs and the sort of performances we're able to do. The power and energy of you guys and the fans is amazing. That's amazing. We get too much food. I think we have too much food. That's a complaint to management. Way too much food. I think we should strike, actually, for the amount of food we have. No, I mean, everything's good. The camaraderie, the band is great. The dancers are great. The management's great. All of the crew are great. Everything around it is great. Obviously sometimes it gets, we get tired and we have to travel a long way and do a lot, but it's amazing the way that everyone sticks together and makes it all happen. And, Rob's very lovely to people, and he can't be lovely to everyone all the time, like he says, but when it counts, if there's something important that has happened in the band or crew or whatever, it's, he makes the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's an amazing boss and he's an amazing friend. I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that comes across from all of you on stage. And we often talk about it as fans and on the show, the energy which you guys actually put out. The music's brilliant, but there's a connection. You can feel the timeless in your community coming across on stage, and we feel it.
Good.
And I think that just adds another element to what's happening. And obviously when we spoke to Rob about it, he said, I'm finally beginning to enjoy it. I've
so nice to hear.
Yeah,
it's so nice to hear that.
Yeah, it really comes across.
But, I totally understand why, being him and also everything else. There's a lot to just suddenly do that stuff on stage. But then some of those things in your character in your early career, you're just on autopilot on you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But those can be amazing moments and you don't even know why. You got half those, you just, what did I do? But it's so, he's just such a natural performer.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
As, As he says about Teddy, it's interesting because she's very, very natural. Amazing.
She will definitely be seeing
power,
her on
energy,
stage,
yeah.
If you could rewind back to one moment in your career and relive it, what would it be? Doesn't have to be with Robbie.
God. Rewind. I cooked Christmas dinner for Diana Ross.
Oh. Let's hear about that.
Did that. There's loads of great moments with Robbie, but I did cook Christmas dinner Thanksgiving dinner for Diana Ross. Her stepdaughter, Leona Ness, I'd done her solo album and we were touring around the States and she just turned around and said, Diana's coming to the next gig. So everyone was shitting themselves, So it was years ago, we were supporting the Bare Naked Ladies and Diana Ross came in and she said everyone else was going home for Thanksgiving the next day and she's like, come over to the house. So it was me and I think the big turkey and the whole day with Diana Ross, which is hilarious.
In her house?
Yeah. Good dinner, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So you've cooked Christmas dinner in Diana Ross's kitchen. That's
for Diana
Ross.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I burnt my arm on an oven.
Oh no.
She ran upstairs, got me some cream. Yeah. That was a good moment. That was a funny moment.
Wow.
And there's a good picture somewhere of me and her 150 strong porcelain chicken collection. Yeah, admiring it. That was a good moment. Stevie Wonder came to the old Wendy House for 3 days with me and Max, and that was amazing, and Omar.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible.
As did Rob did a lot of root box in that studio as well. I mean, yeah, there's been most gigs with Rob are an event. So they are, and there's been so many of them. Live 8 was amazing.
Yeah.
Even though the sound was dreadful for me, but it was just, it was amazing, that event.
Probably quite hard to comprehend that with so many people around the world watching that.
Yeah,
show.
again, it's like, you try, if you do that, you're going to shit yourself.
Yeah, don't think about
That's
it.
the first thing to do to wind yourself up. Yeah.
And if it was your first gig as well with him.
Yeah.
It was amazing first going to South America with Rob in 2006 because it was crazy. It was like seeing the fans out there. They were crazy. Car shaking, van shaking, running after the thing. It was like, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, and in South America I'd never been there before, and it was very interesting. Yeah, lucky enough to have lots of great moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And what's the funniest thing that's happened while you've been working with Rob? You've got a couple of funny moments for us that you're able to share.
Yeah.
Funniest. There's funny things all bloody day. I never stop laughing.
I get the feeling there might be a few wind-ups that happen.
There's so many wind-ups.
I get the feeling, getting this sense.
Yeah, there's so many wind-ups, and Rob does a lot of them. And there'll be penalties sometimes that we all have to come in for a day just in our robes or something. If we agree, there's been so many funny things.
So, what's the moment you're most proud of?
Oh, God.
Or it could be a song.
These are soul-searching
I guess it's finishing stuff, and it was great when Rude Box came out and to be part of that and those songs on. Yeah, that was great. That's very. Well, I mean, you try and make all the gigs sort of a thing, each one. Otherwise, you're kind of letting yourself and people down in a way. Mm-hmm. You've got to sort of not have any,
right, any highs and lows
or approach to it. You should approach them all because otherwise they catch you out.
Mm-hmm.
Something can catch you out. So you got to try and approach them all. That's what I try and do. Approach them all the same. But I mean, there's some of the gigs we've done, some of the private gigs, which can be incredible. Some of the guests are funny at some of the private gigs because they can be. We did one gig I won't say who they're for because it was in Mexico, in Cancun, and we looked out on the audience. We got on stage and there's 50 people in the audience. There's Stevie Wonder, there's Ronnie Wood. It was just like full of effort, Bruno Mars, it was every actor.
Oh, wow.
It was just like, oh, fucking hell. Yeah, so it was just the most, some of those gigs are sort of, you're playing to some of the most famous faces ever.
Wow.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Wow.
That must be surreal.
No, it's some funny audiences, definitely on those corporates.
And does a particular show or particular tour stick out for you over the time you've been with Rob?
Not really. I mean, like as he said, the Nows feels really, really good.
Yeah.
It feels like there's no bumps. It feels like it's a really solid, straight road.
Yeah.
And there's, everyone has their thing and their apparatus to do their gig well. It feels really good right now, and he's in a great place. Obviously we've been through some of those other tours, which are big and a lot to get together and a lot of money and a lot of things. Mm-hmm. It feels now like there's maybe the right, the right amount of stuff and talking, entertainment things, heads.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you do a stadium, you've got to have big stuff.
Yeah.
And you've got to have big movements. You've got to have big everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to the rest of the year then?
I think we're doing stadiums in Australia. Just thought of that.
Yeah.
Back to stadiums because probably did that football thing.
Have they got a giant head with flames for you ready?
Yes, have my rig ready. I've got a spare as well. Yeah, no, I don't know about the flaming head. No, it should be good. We got all the festivals.
We're looking forward to the Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight, you come to the Isle of Wight,
Yeah.
You're near where you live, isn't it?
Yeah, not far from there. I'm a festival goer, so I saw Rob first in Glastonbury.
Oh, did you?
In '98,
right?
And so I've been to Glastonbury a lot. And Lucy's not so much a festival goer, so the Isle of Wight's a bit more posh than Glastonbury, isn't it? So we're going to go VIP camping.
Yeah,
should be all right, I think.
Yeah. Well, you should do the podcast backstage or something.
Yeah. We'll see.
So festivals. Then we go to Singapore. We got New Zealand, and we go to Mexico. Going to Mexico next week. What am I talking about?
Really soon.
Yeah.
All right. So
I go a week early with my wife for a holiday. So we're going down to Zuwarnea. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Nice.
So, and then we have a gig on the 14th, and then we back, and then festivals. Brexit's allowing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But I'm becoming a student.
Oh.
Yes, in Austria. I'm doing a postgrad year in Austria, don't you know?
Right.
Really?
Yes.
What in?
In music.
Oh, okay.
Various things in music. So I needed a visa to be a student.
Ah.
So I'm going to be busy.
Yeah.
We'll
Got a lot of things to learn.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I know my place.
Yeah. Can we come to the graduation ceremony?
Yes, you can. Yes, most welcome.
We'll come and interview.
Bring your Wiener Schnitzels. Wendy House. Yeah.
So before we close off, is there anything else you wanted to talk about your story with Rob that we haven't covered?
I think, I've been with Rob for 18 years. It's been fantastic. And he's a brilliant boss. He's a brilliant writer. He's a brilliant lyricist. He's very observant. He's eclectic. He's arty as anything. He's a music lover. He's totally into, when you sit in the room with, him when he's relaxing, he's just going through music. He's such a music fan. It's great to work with someone like that. Much more of a fan of music than me. No, he genuinely is, and he's brilliant to work with. And there's been many, many high points. Thanks for asking about them.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. No, I mean, and it still goes on. So it's which is a privilege.
Yeah,
and great to be involved still.
Yeah.
Hopefully, many more years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on the podcast, Jerry.
Thank you very much, Matt.
And bringing us into the Wendy House. It's really cool to see your studio space. That went off a lot. Yeah, there we go. Wendy House. Right on cue.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming.
Yeah, it's been really nice and lovely to hear your perspective
well done
on Rob.
The podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope it doesn't dip. The figures dip.
Sure they won't.
No. They're only going to go up. The biopic's coming out this year. Netflix. You guys are on tour again. So, yeah, on all up from here, isn't it?
Yes.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Robbie Williams Rewind.